Okay, looks like we're live, guys. Welcome back to the Message and the Machine. This is Brian, and I have Brian. Today, we're going to talk about the state of marketing agencies in 2026. Um, and it's really just a conversation that's been ongoing between Brian and myself regarding what we see, and maybe give you guys a little bit of a glimpse behind the curtain of what we do,
For
so
sure.
that you get a sense of it and understand. At least you have a frame of reference to make smart decisions when you're in the market for a marketing agency. So,
Yeah, for sure. Whether you choose us or someone else, I want people to be more informed and not go down a road and waste their time and money.
yep.
Is kind of where I'm at.
And that's kind of the thing. That's the biggest place. That's the biggest hole for a lot of businesses is marketing, and people treat it like it's this amorphous kind of thing. And from our perspective, marketing is your business. Basically, is you are you provide your our job is your job as the business owner is to market the specific products or services that you sell. That's the position that you're in. And so we're gonna nerd out and talk a little bit of throw a little bit of dirt on the industry, I
Yeah,
guess,
yeah,
but talk about some trends that we're seeing and kind of hip you guys to some things that are going on in it. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
yeah.
So I guess the first thing is, and this is something that's kind of a me thing. um I feel like the marketing it's not necessarily flooded. um I just think that what we have is we have a group of people that are in it. Like, case in point, I go on TikTok. I have my TikTok from I Sell Words, and on the I Sell Words TikTok, I scroll through and I always see somebody who's branded that they've had a viral TikTok video, and after that viral TikTok video, they've decided that they are an expert in TikTok.
Right.
And so now they're saying you can sign up on my Calendly and book a time to talk to me, and I'll be your marketing guru person. And there's a lot of that shit going on in
Mm-hmm.
a like there's a lot of it going on in the agency space, where people have some success posting on social media, and in that's enough for them to start a marketing agency. And what happens is that's fine if you're just talking to TikTokers, but then they jump over into actually doing stuff with businesses, and businesses feel like they're getting cold called from these people. They take one of these cold calls, they pay these people money, and nothing happens.
Right. Um, I can expand on that a little bit if you want.
Go
So
for it.
like, I, a lot of times people think marketing is just attention, right?
Mhm.
Um, and it's not. So if I all of a sudden get you and I send 1,000 people because I know TikTok, I know how to get eyeballs on you, right? I get
Mhm.
attention.
Mhm.
Now I send 1,000 people to your broken marketing funnel that you don't have set up. You don't have it all, or you don't have set up. I'm just dumping water into a bucket with holes in it,
Right.
right? So that is what I think. Before the call, Brian and I were talking, and that's kind of the whole crutch of this conversation is that marketing isn't just the things you think it is, right? It's
Mhm.
not just social media, it's not just websites, it's not just email or TV or radio or billboards or whatever. If you don't have some sort of strategy with what you're doing with marketing, it's you're wasting your time and money.
Right.
I don't know how much more to clear to be than that. But that's it. You're pouring water in a bucket with holes.
Yeah. Well, and I know, like, specifically, I had one of I had a specific job that I took, and it was doing ad research, like going doing the Google Ads research and doing keyword research and testing out different things and stuff like that. That is invisible work, but it's also very impactful. But
Mhm.
it doesn't get seen, and so since it's invisible work, people assume that you're not doing anything, and it's like, meanwhile, I'm knee deep in testing out keywords and doing research and all this other stuff that goes into it, and looking at people that are currently in the industry and looking at what they have on their websites and doing these kind of holistic glances at the back end of the marketing system and figuring out the best ways to use the tools available to create the best outcomes. And if I really wanted to, I could just say, okay, give me $5,000 a month. I will make a Google ad and just run it for you. And I think people think that that's kind of what marketing is because that's what it's being sold as.
Right.
It's it's not being sold as an art of finding this audience. It's being sold as an easy button that you can push. You push the button and clients start streaming through the door.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, and another thing, people think marketing is separate from sales and ops and hiring, or even like the customer experience. It's not. It,
Mhm.
whether people want to admit it or not, it touches every single aspect of business. Pricing, follow up, sales scripts, Google reviews, how phones get answered, um, how fast someone gets a quote for, if it's a service based business or something.
Mhm.
If any of those systems are broken or not, don't flow right for the customer, marketing, it's not going to save you. You got to have the system set up, you know.
Right.
And I hate preaching this whole system processes thing. It sounds so boring. Um, it can be, and it's not as fast as people want. Getting to what you're getting at, like, it's not an easy button. It's not something that you can just turn on and all of a sudden now I'm getting all these sales or something.
Yep.
It's slower than that. Marketing are a lot of times it's testing, and then you
Yeah.
have the system, you test the system. It worked up to point, if it's a 5-step system, it worked up to point 3, and that's where you fall off. So we got to figure out what happens there, and we fix it and tweak it, and you change it, and you find out what works. And once that's the trick, that's what all the gurus are selling you. You can make $1 million in a year, blah, blah, blah. It's because they found something for them that worked. And then once you do that, then it is a faucet you turn on. You just
Mhm.
add water, you turn on, and the money flows. That's real,
Right.
but you have to get there. It's not as simple as just posting, you know, finding, just starting content. Even Brian can talk about this a little bit. I'll
Yeah.
let you riff on this a little bit, but you start doing content and you think it's just going to start working. That's not the key. You find the content that works for you and for your buyer. That combo is what works. Then you use Brian's type of content systems
Mhm.
that 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 take what is good for your buyer and good for you,
Mhm.
puts together, distributes it, right? That
Right.
system works, but you got to get there. It's not just a snap of the fingers and it works.
Yep. And was it Mesa? Thanks for tuning in. Here's the thing. Um, the part of the art of this is figuring out on the messaging side, where do I put this message that's going to hit the audience, the specific target audience of people? Because a lot of people think that the goal is to have a whole lot of followers on your social media accounts, and that sounds good in theory.
Hmm.
And for me, if I didn't do this, it would be malpractice. My job is to, I don't necessarily care that you have a ton of people on your social media.
Hmm.
I'd rather have a good number of people that are actually your customers on your social media and not just random people that don't want to buy your product. And so there's an art in finding that audience and placing the message in front of that audience and then testing different kinds of messages to see what your audience responds to and what they don't. And I think unfortunately that's the side that kind of gets lost in the shuffle when we're talking about all this stuff is it's not enough just to shotgun blast it on social media. It's finding content and finding strategies that your audience wants to see and actually adds value to them in exchange for their time. The thing I always tell people, like especially with YouTube, people tune into YouTube to be informed, entertained, or distracted. And if you check one of those, or you check multiple ones of those, you are going to have success on YouTube. Um, and for business owners specifically, the thing that may entertain your audience, and we talked about it yesterday in our meeting, your audience may be fascinated by that, kind of um, turn my brain off and kind of watch somebody clean a carpet or turn my brain off and watch somebody install an air
Right.
HVAC system or clean an engine or put stuff like that. Those are actual marketing plays that people don't think. I think a lot of business owners end up getting sucked into this Marketing is making ads, and ads are buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, as opposed to providing value to the audience that's watching you. It's a different game.
Yeah.
And the latest, like, I think maybe it might have been about 6 months ago, I watched the state of YouTube where they had the CEO of YouTube, and the way that he sees YouTube channels, he views YouTube channels as standalone businesses. And the people that watch are your customers. And so even they are kind of viewing it as a business, that is based on providing your customers stuff that is valuable to them, and they will donate their time to watch. So there's a whole lot of stuff that goes into this. But I think what's happening is, uh, I think the part of the art that gets lost is it does take a little bit of time and research and looking at stuff. And it takes a while before the you start seeing the results. But once you start seeing the results, they're big enough to be sustainable. Does that make sense?
To me, it does. Yeah, and I totally agree. Like, I hate to beat a dead horse, but like the right content for the right buyer just works, and you
Yeah.
have to find that. You have to figure it out. Um, I think that may be why people don't really understand. There's two things here I want to say. So they don't understand the value of marketing. That's a
Mhm.
big thing I deal with. Like, I don't understand the ROI. It's too expensive, right?
Right.
Um, I don't view I don't view marketing as a cost so much because I can explain to somebody that if 20% of your leads never get followed up on and I install a system that gets you those 20% leads back, you're
Mhm.
making money from marketing. You're not It's not a cost.
Right.
If marketing doesn't have a return, and I'm not saying that it's always marketing is always an ROI value thing, but in the stuff I deal with where it comes to systems and leads and people coming into your store and that kind of stuff, if there isn't a return, it's being done wrong or you
Mhm.
haven't figured out the right formula yet, right? Going back to the speed of marketing. It's not just like
Yep.
I'm going to come into your ice cream shop and all of a sudden I'm going to figure it out and I know everything about ice cream and you know everything about ice cream and we're going to have the perfect thing. It's going to happen that first week or two or month. And it's like, no, you test, you figure it out. We may hit it the first time.
Mhm.
That's a rare occurrence, but that happens and then it works, right?
Right.
So if I can tell you this, like, okay, you spent, let's just throw a number out, $1,000 to have me come in and install a system for you,
Mhm.
$10,000, depending on what the value prop is, right? And what I do makes you, if it's $1,000 and I make you 10,
Mhm.
how is that a problem for anybody involved?
Right.
So yeah, I mean,
And I think the other side, because this is something that that kind of came to mind. I was kind of thinking about this. ADHD popped in my brain, but this is
yeah,
something I was thinking about. It kind of triggered something. A lot of times, marketing is your client's experience when they come in the door.
100%.
Are does your staff, who's ever behind the desk, do they greet them? Is the store clean? Is it easy to find stuff? Are the shelves organized? That is marketing too. This all plays into it. And it goes into the concept of what is your back end system look like? If I bring you 500 new customers, and I bring them into your funnel, what is the follow-up? How does that look? How do they feel about the experience? Because that's important too. And so a lot of times when I sit down to talk to people about that side of things, it gets weird for them because they're thinking, well, I just hired you to help me run ads and stuff.
Right.
Well, as I need to kind of have a holistic idea of what your business is, so I can provide the right layer of service for it, as opposed to just trying, for the lack of a better word, just doing shit
Yeah.
and seeing what happens, seeing what works. And to be honest with you, there is an aspect of marketing where you're just doing shit just to see what works. But a lot of times it's informed by having these robust conversations on the front end and
Right.
figuring out, okay, this is what your sales process is and things along those lines. These are
That's
what
where
your
the true
price points
experience
are.
comes in, right? Like, that's
Right.
when you know you're dealing with someone that knows what the hell they're doing. They're not just someone like you said earlier that had that got one viral video on TikTok and all of a sudden they're an expert digital marketer. This is not the case. They can't come in and see, like, I'm coming in pretty, guns loaded with anybody to say, like, I know the foundational core systems of marketing that work for every single business.
Hmm.
And we kind of start there and see where your pieces fit in. So going back to your customer experience part, I went and looked at real quick. Apple stores, right?
Right.
They are the highest per square foot earnings. They earn $5,500 to $6,000 per square foot of store. Okay. They're higher. They're higher than Tiffany, higher than Rolex, higher than anybody.
Hmm.
And they do it with, if you go in there, it's not just about them selling Apple products, but the whole store is just Apple products, right?
Right.
There's no extra stuff. There's no sodas. There's no, when you're in, there's not even checkout stands where you're in line and you're doing stuff. The whole experience that they've given people when you walk into those stores, some people like it, some people don't. I get that, but they've built it. My point is, it's a system that they've built and it's repeatable throughout the whole entire world. It's the same system because they found something that works for them. And that's
Hmm.
why they're a, I don't know, multi-trillion now, I think,
Yeah.
company. And then going to, what was my other point? I don't remember.
Well, I got a follow up to that because we talk about the concept of systems, and I think we do have to talk about difference between tools, and strategies, and tactics, right?
Yeah.
And so for me, and this is where I throw dirt. For me, a thing like GHL, like Go High Level, is a
Hmm.
tool that I may
100%.
deploy in my marketing agency. For a lot of people on YouTube that are marketers and have marketing agencies, Go High Level is their entire business. That is their agency. What they basically use Go High Level, they white label it and say, this is they act like they've built this robust marketing system, and it's a good tool. I've played around
Right.
with it. I've used it. I use it in one of my businesses. But they sell GHL like it is this end-to-end marketing thing that they have innovated and come up with, and it solves all your problems. Well, it's not necessarily that. All they're doing is they're white labeling a software to you that's already been built for that purpose. And that's their entire model. And if it works for them, that's great. But if you need anything beyond that, where you're going to strategy and stuff, they don't have anything for you because they don't have any experience with it. They don't know
Hmm.
the strategy side of it. They know Go High Level automates this, it answers the phone for them.
Right.
And that's all they focus on.
Essentially, what Go High Level is a very robust, easy for us on the back end to
Hmm.
use as a follow-up system. It's simply a follow-up system, which is one aspect of your business,
Right.
one aspect of marketing in your business. There's a whole lot of other things that go into that. I don't care what system you use. Here's my chance to throw shade. I don't care if you use Go High Level or MailChimp or a custom one you built through, AI. I don't care
Hmm.
if your pricing's wrong, the experience that you give during that follow-up is wrong, if after that follow-up system completes itself, if that's the follow-up is wrong, if you're not looking at analytics and you're realizing, hell, that we're dropping off here, if we tweak this, if you're not doing those, that's marketing.
Right.
That's the whole system, end-to-end marketing, full stack, right?
Right.
That's what people don't understand about the strategy part of it. And AI is not a strategy. It's not something you implement as a strategy in your business.
Yeah.
It's a tool,
Hmm.
you know? It can help. It can do these things. It can build things. It can tell you things. But if you do ice cream, that's all you do all day long, and that's what you know best, that's what you know best. You're not a marketer. You
Hmm.
can go into Chat GPT and you can go all day long, but if you don't know what type of questions to ask it, and it spits something out and you don't know whether it's right or wrong. You just
Right.
go with it, you know? I mean, again, I'm not I'm beating a dead horse, and I know that's what the episode's about, so we're
Yeah.
beating this horse about how agencies aren't all the same.
Yeah.
You should be choosy with who you work with, and the difference between tools and strategies.
If
Go High Level is a tool.
Yeah.
AI is a tool, not a strategy.
If you okay, and so this is kind of where I will draw the line. If you're in the market for a marketing agency, and on that front end, they don't do a diagnostic interview where they sit down and ask you about your business and ask you about your price points and who your average customer is and ask for psychographics of your customer and all this other stuff that makes the business tick, annual revenue, how much you're making per unit, things along those lines. And all that stuff, then you're not really dealing with a serious marketing agency. You're dealing with somebody that wants to sell, that wants to run Google ads for you, which is fine. But don't let them sell you on agency services, because agency comes with strategy. If I'm running an agency, I am coming in and providing you a strategy based on
Yeah.
what my experience is. And it's not always going to be social. It's not always going to be video. Sometimes it's going to be newsletters make sense. You need to hit your mailing list. What does your direct mail campaign look like? These are different things that a real marketing agency is going to do. We're not just going to sit there and talk about your website. We're not just going to sit there and talk about your social media presence. We're going to kind of holistically look at your business and say, okay, have you considered direct mail? It seems like a lot of your clients are older and they respond to that. So maybe that's something we can do. Direct mail is cheap. We could test it out a couple times and see what happens, see what the response is. Specifically, like I would have that for any nonprofit that's out there that has an older client base of donors. If you're not doing some kind of direct mail campaign, you're missing out, because those are still the people that will put a check in an envelope and send it to you.
Yeah, and
And
for whatever reason, I have no clue why. I haven't researched it, but direct mail works wonders. I've seen reports, I haven't looked deep into them, but for casinos,
Mhm.
they send so much direct mail and it works. It brings people in. I mean, they're doing old school stuff where it's like a key taped to the postcard type stuff
Yeah.
and the scratch. Like you can't scratch it. You got to come in to scratch it and see if you win. That kind of stuff. That's 1990 stuff, but that stuff is still
Yeah.
working for them.
Yeah.
And it is older clientele, I guess, for casinos maybe, but I don't know. Um, yeah, man. I think if people aren't digging, like sometimes people get uncomfortable when I do a discovery session because I come in and I'm like, I need to know what's wrong.
Mhm.
Don't don't hold back because you don't want to seem like you're failing. You don't want to seem like you're a bad business owner. You're struggling. You don't want to show your warts. I call them the warts, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm like, tell me everything. Tell me all your warts, all the bad stuff, all the good stuff. That way we have a full scope of your business so we can like you said, holistically look at it and say, well, here's the issues we can clean up now and we can ramp up to other things. That's another thing. If someone comes in and says, I can solve all your problems,
Mhm.
no, they can't.
They're not going
Not at
to.
one.
They're
I
not
mean,
going to.
there's some guys that are going to come in and be like, well, yeah, your website's crap. I'll do your website, and you don't got any social media. Go, I'll do your social media, and I'll do this, and I'll do that, and then we'll start running ads. And it's like, whoa, 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 pump the brakes.
Mhm.
You know, if I start sending 1,000 people to a store, they can't even handle it. I mean, we've
Right.
talked about that several times, but they can't even handle the traffic. They don't know what to do with it. So, yeah, you got to know everything about a business. And if they're not doing that, then they're not. I hate being mean, but like they're not real marketing agencies.
Well, I think, and it's they're not experienced. Like, look, I look at it like this. I'm gonna have my diagnostic interview. I'm gonna sit there and ask kind of all this stuff that you don't think I need to know about your business. And I'm trying to create a framework or a marketing framework that makes the most sense for your business. And so I may make recommendations. I may come in as a ghost client or a ghost customer and see what your customer service delivery is when you're not there. And so I can report back to you. Like there's a lot of other things that I will do as a marketer, as somebody who actually has done this for a while. But what happens is you get in these, if you're not familiar, what happens is you do these diagnostic interviews and people will lie to you about it. It's like, imagine going to your doctor, right? You're going to your doctor like, doc, man, I got this cough. I got this cough. It won't go away. and Doc does all the other stuff and asks you all the questions, and you answer the questions that you feel comfortable answering, but you hold back a detail like, well, you smoke 6 packs a day. You know, I got this cough, but you're not going to tell what it is because you're ashamed of what it is.
Yeah, doc says, "Do you smoke?" And you're like, "No."
No, but you know that you're on pack 3 of 6.
Right.
It's just
You're
that
about to leave,
afternoon.
you're about to leave here and
Yeah.
smoke on the way home.
And so, that's kind of what it is. And I think a lot of marketing agencies, they're not doing that work because it feels uncomfortable. Feels uncomfortable to ask a brand new business how much money you're making. Well, I'm not making any. I just started. Okay, then we're in launch mode. What do we
Yeah,
need
go to
to
market
do?
mode. Yeah,
What do we need to do to get the market in there so we can start testing out your offer and figure out exactly who your best audience is? But
100%.
if you have a marketing agency that's not doing that, not offering that level of service to you, or they're not asking you all these questions, they're just coming in and saying, "Oh, Facebook ads, up, Google ads." You're dealing with somebody that's selling ads. Or if they come in and they're like, "Your website's awful. I have a better website solution for you." Boom. I'm gonna just install this website and everything's gonna magically work better. You're not dealing with anybody that is coming in with any kind of care about what
Right,
your marketing is. They're trying to sell you into their website service, which
right.
is fine. But um,
Maybe you don't do any business on your website. What's
yeah,
like,
here's your problem. It's the website. Oh, well, yeah, most of the people, they call me. Most of my business comes from
right,
Facebook. So there's different layers and different ways to perceive it. But what we're saying is if your marketing agency person isn't doing a lot of this groundwork with you, you got to start asking those questions about, okay,
right,
what are you really here to do? Because for me, if you don't make money, then I haven't done my job. My goal is to bring the right clients to you, put the
yeah,
system to bring the clients to you. So if I put something in place and it's not creating over a reasonable enough time frame, it's not creating an impact in your business, then I'm not doing my job. And so I take it seriously on the front end when I'm coming in and doing the diagnostic stuff.
100%. And I think to give you another real life scenario, so I did work with a bar, right?
Mhm.
And they're like, "Well, we do good on these nights, and we're trying to pick up these nights, the revenue for those for certain nights." And I'm like, "Well, because I'm experienced in this, and I got 23 years in this, so I think of things that don't. I can help this person without even selling them services,
Mhm.
right?" So I'm like, "Well, who works all those on those days that you don't do well? Is it the same person?" Well, yeah. Maybe we need to take a look at that.
Yeah.
And if I told you you could fire one person and hire a new one or switch somebody around, and all of a sudden your revenue kicks up 80%, do you think that's a problem you should probably look at? And people don't think of it like that, but that's to me, that's still marketing.
Yeah.
The persons that present your product when your customer walks in, they're marketing your product when they come in. If they're a shitty person or they're in a bad mood all the time, nobody wants to be there.
Yeah.
And if you don't know that, you know, we try to find those things. That's why we need to know everything about a business. That's why we do the deep dives, the discovery, the diagnostics. It's important to be honest. Be honest with your marketers,
Yeah.
folks.
Well,
You
and
know,
I almost feel like it's a marketing and operations management agency. Like we're helping you manage your business operations too.
or a
And
business therapist.
yeah, and figuring out the best way for your business to have a good healthy lifespan. And what they say, the best business is like, if you want to have a really good business, build your business to sell, regardless of whether you intend on selling it or not, because people only want to buy good businesses. And that's a very true statement. And
Hmm.
so how do we make this thing make enough money that if somebody was looking to buy it, it'd be a sweetheart of a deal for them? And more times than not, it has to come with your marketing system. What does your marketing system look like? How do you acquire clients? Is it a durable marketing system? If the economy falls off of a cliff, does your marketing system fall apart or does it get stronger? Like these are different questions that an experienced marketer is going to ask. And so I think one of the issues we're running into is the fact that, the barriers to entry are completely evaporated with YouTube. Like, people will see a YouTube video and the YouTube video says, start your marketing agency in 2026. And they watch it and say, I'm going to do that. And they watch that video, and that video is the only thing that they have. The only frame of reference they have before they start this agency and start taking on clients. And they watch the video, and now I watch this video, and so now I am going to start taking on clients.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, businesses are not fully aware that the person that they've hired as their marketing agency, their level of knowledge about this is watching a video on YouTube telling them how to start a marketing agency.
Right.
That's one of the problems. These tools are inexpensive, and it's really easy to get in. And I think that's what's happening to the industry. It's oversaturated with people that, are only going to have this marketing agency for maybe a year or two, until they pivot into something else and find the next side hustle to pick up on.
Yeah. I mean, I've been there. I remember being a junior marketer, if that's even a thing, back when I started, thinking, I knew everything, and I get the hustle, and I'm not trying to poo-poo that. But what we are trying to do is, because this show is kind of for the business owners, not for marketers.
Right.
So I'm not trying to poo-poo those just hustling, starting out people that are getting into marketing, but I'm trying to warn you of the downfalls that can cost you money and time, which in a business, those are the only two things that matter: money and time. And a lot of times people think like marketing is like the gas pedal for your business, right? But a gas pedal is worthless if your engine, your brakes,
right,
and everything else don't work, right? So we have to make sure that the system, your whole entire car, is working right. Then we could put lead foot on it, right?
Right. The engine is useless if we don't have a steering wheel.
Exactly.
I mean, the car can go really fast, but we can't control the direction it's going. Yeah. And I think, but specifically, and I will talk to a lot of these guys that have these marketing agencies. You saw the same videos I did on YouTube with the Go High Level guy and the Go High Level guys, and say, this is how you start a Go High Level marketing agency or whatnot. I need to warn you guys, because I was around for when Google changed their algorithm. A lot of businesses did not survive Google changing that algorithm that first time. They went away. They went away overnight. The danger of building your entire agency around a tool like Go High Level, where that's the only tool that you implement, and your entire agency is essentially selling that product, is if that company gets acquired, specifically by venture capital, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to look at where this company is making money and figure out how to make more. And they're going to raise the price they're going to raise your monthly price, and that's going to destroy your business model. It's going to absolutely erode your margins overnight. And if you're only selling these installations, these Go High Level installations as your marketing business, you're going to end up you're going to have to raise your monthly price on your clients that exist, and they don't really appreciate that. Right. But it's really a high risk. It feels like it's a low risk kind of thing, but it is really kind of high risk. That's on one end. And then basically you are the IT department for all these businesses. And so now you are an IT department for a service that you really don't have access to the back end of it. Like, you really don't. You have access to a portal that you can log on to and make adjustments for your business, but you don't really necessarily have granular access to it. So Amazon Web Services goes kaput for a couple of days. Your clients are blowing your phone up saying, this thing isn't working, it's broken.
Right.
If you don't know enough to understand, well, Amazon Web Services is offline and that's going to affect all this other stuff, you're screwed. Because you have no answers for them. You can't say, yeah, Amazon Web Services is down, so our hosting is down, and it's causing all kinds of hiccups throughout the industry and ripples throughout the industry. If you don't have that frame of reference to even understand that, you're going to lose clients, because you're going to lose their trust overnight, because you're not going to be able to articulate what's wrong with it. And since you don't have any power to fix it, they're going to say, why am I paying you for this? My entire business depends on this thing that you put in, and it went down and you had no answers for me.
Right.
There's all kinds of wrinkles to this thing. And if you don't, to me, I don't have a problem with the tool. I think it's a pretty good tool.
Yeah.
I think it's a great hammer. I think it's a great hammer. It nails the nails that I need nailed, but that's not my entire toolbox.
Yeah. And I would say, like, it's the difference between, I guess, if you want to be a vendor to a business, or you want to be an operator to a business. I personally like to step in like I'm an operator of the business, and I want to be a part of the business, and I want to have skin in the game, and I actually give a shit about how your business does. Whereas
Yeah.
a vendor wants to sell you a product and just have you pay them for it. That's it.
Yeah.
And I guess I can there could be an argument made that that's how you want to conduct business, and some businesses want to conduct business that way, right? They just want a vendor. Just come in, build me a website and go away, you
Right.
know? So there's that. But I have found for most people, they need someone to team up with. They need a partner, as an operator that gives a shit about what's actually going on. Long term, operators are better than vendors because they are going to have your best interest. It benefits both. I set up my proposals and stuff, so it benefits both parties, right?
Right.
Why would I do anything else?
Right.
Well,
Like,
I don't understand. It doesn't compute for my brain of why you would do anything else to sell somebody something they don't need.
right. I'm trying to set you up for success and save you money, so you're
Yeah.
not spending money on things that are not valuable to you. I'm not. I'll put it like this. So as long as we're pissing people off, let's go for it. I am not a Kirby vacuum salesman. Like, I am not going to come in and sell you a $2,000 vacuum and make that the most expensive appliance in your house and sell you on, well, it does all this other stuff, where I can buy two other vacuums, and by the time those things die, I still haven't spent $1,000 worth of vacuum yet.
Right.
I'm not that level where I'm going to sell you this thing that you don't necessarily need. Because that doesn't really do me anything. It doesn't help me out by selling you on all these tools and implementations you don't need. I'm not going to come replace your website if you don't need a new website, right? There are people that will do that. They'll 100% come out and say, oh, well, your website is your problem. Well, I mean, they don't have any traffic on their website in the first place. So you can't even tell. If you haven't even looked, that's the other side. If they haven't even looked and said, how much traffic are you getting on your website? Well, I don't know. Well, maybe we should go look at that first before I just start throwing out some freestyling solutions to you.
100%. I've done that 1,000 times over the years where it's like, look, we're not even going to decide what we're going to do with your website. Let's install Google Analytics and let's just watch it for a few months and see where you're at. Because if we know nothing, we're building for nothing.
Right.
And that's just, again, it just comes down to experience, and we can beat that dead horse all day long. Do you want to get into, let's see how much time we got. We got about 30 minutes left.
Yeah.
Well,
then I got one more thing, because I want to throw this in there on the website, because I do want to follow up on this. Sometimes with your website, it's as simple as saying, hey, you know what? When you make a social media post, make sure you put the exact landing page that you want the people to go to in the body of whatever you post. Send them exactly where you want them to go on your website. That's going to increase how much you make every single time somebody visits your website. And that's enough to transform their entire business. Or I could have sold them a new website. Yeah. To me, it's more valuable to say, make sure you put the exact landing page that you want them to go to.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so let's go ahead and pivot here.
What do we want to hit next? Do you want to talk about? I know we touched base on it being a tool, but AI.
Yeah, let's talk about AI exposing a lot of the hustles. The reason why we're saying AI exposed the hustle is now a business owner has the ability, specifically if they do prompt engineering, they have the ability to draw from some of the big dogs out there in luminaries in the ad field. If they're smart in use of their AI, You know, they could say, I want you to be Gary Halbert and help me design copy for this website, right? Um, it exposed the hustle. You have to be you have to you have to be expert enough that you understand the AI as a tool and not the entire implementation. I hope I'm making sense, right?
Yep.
Because right now AI can write copy, generate ads, it can produce creative and analyze data. Here's the thing: it can do all that. The expert is the person that could say, "Yeah, that AI, that what that AI said is crap. We need to have it tweak this, this, and this. We need to change this word usage." You know, that's what the expert does. A lot of people think that, you know, because they can talk to an AI and have it create a Facebook post, that they know the marketing side of things.
Right.
And that's really not what it is. And it also I'll be honest with you, is going to take down low level operators. It's going to take down marketers and marketing agencies that and copywriters that don't actually really provide a ton of value or provide low value to their customers. AI is absolutely about to blow their spot up.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Because what Brian's getting at is that you can have AI do these things for you, write posts and do stuff like that. But if you don't understand what the actual system is and why you're doing what you're doing, you're just doing things you think are right. I mean, if you start a prompt, be like, I own an HVAC business and I need to get more calls.
Hmm.
AI is going to give you a whole list of things you can do, right?
Hmm.
And you start doing them. But those are you have to have the whole entire thing in place. It's much it's much harder to develop, like, because every business is different. So it gives you a general statement of all HVACs companies and how they can do this on social media,
Hmm.
right? But then you realize you get into it and you're like, well, I don't have a website, so I need to build a website. So you take that part out of the mix that AI just gave you. Then it's like, well, you need to hook up a program like this, and you don't know how to do that because it's very technical and doesn't
Yeah.
work. There's all these road bumps you'll keep hitting um, during that process. So it's not as easy as just popping in and asking a question and getting a result out.
Yeah.
You know,
And it treat it like an answer in the box. And here's the thing: if you can't tell the difference between good copy and bad copy, AI is not going to help you,
right?
because AI will spit out really bad generic copy. When I'm saying copy, those are words that sell. Those are
Hmm.
words that you use to write to elicit a response from an audience, whether it's you want them to subscribe, you want them to buy something, things along those lines, words that convert people or build their trust in you. And so if you do not know how to put your words together to invoke or persuade people to do business with you in the first place, AI can't help you, because especially if you're only using it on the most generic basic level, it will absolutely spit out the most pedantic, you know, simple, simplistic, non-converting copy. And if you don't have the expertise to understand that it gave you a bad answer and push back against it, um, you're going to get exposed. I think that's what it is. Like, you're going to get exposed if
Right.
you can't go back and say, this sucks. What do you like? I've done that. You know, I've been sitting there having writing sessions, writing newsletters or whatnot, and I need to brainstorm. And so I'm like, all right, I need to dump my thoughts into this AI and help it organize my thoughts. And then it spit out something that's like, this is totally useless.
Right.
This you just hallucinated a bunch of stuff. Let's try this again, and I gave it some very specific instructions to help me form coherent thoughts about this thing that I was absolutely stumped on. But if you don't know, it's the concept of, if you don't know what you're looking at, you don't know what you're looking at, right? How many
Right.
times have you gone to a car lot and sat down and started reading all this? This has a V8 and a Techno Track this and a uh you know, fluidless transmission and all this other. You don't know what the hell that is.
Yeah.
It sounds great, but you don't really know what it is. If you don't know what you're looking at, you don't know what you're looking at. It's like me bringing me into the operating room and having me look into a human brain.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm looking at. I can't help you with anything. And
But you have
so
Chat GPT,
I have ChatGPT to tell me how to do it.
and you
You
ain't gonna
know,
feel safe with Brian operating on you
right,
using Chat GPT.
right. And the fact I get distracted by everything, if something interesting may come on the TV in the lobby, and then I'm sitting there cutting the wrong nerve or something. Like, here's the thing. So what we're saying is just deploying AI and not really having a depth of understanding about it is where a lot of these agencies are screwing up, because I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna let you guys in on YouTube. The big trend is the AI agency. That's what they're selling, is the AI agency. Brian and I both will deploy AI for different things in our business workflows, right?
100%. Not a hater of AI at all.
The 100% AI agency as it exists right now is kind of a pipe dream. Right now. 6 months from now, that may not be the thing. But right now, it's a pipe dream, because you have to be able to control the outputs. And a lot of times, if you don't know what you're looking at, you don't know what you're looking at.
Here's an example. Okay, so the big thing right now that I've seen in my circles and stuff is the Higgsfield AI, right? And how good the video output is on it, and the ads that it can produce. They're amazing.
Yeah,
they're absolutely amazing. But what's your ad going to be about?
Right.
How do you know? How do you tell Higgsfield, I want this ad? You can come up with a great idea, but is that going to work? What's the metrics on ads in your industry, and what's working right now? So I want to flip to that. Can I show my screens?
Yeah, go for
real
it.
Quick?
While you're going for that, I'll follow up with a question here. So it's going to be at the bottom where you see the little monitor with the plus on it.
Okay.
The bottom of your screen. I'll follow up on that. Is your client base actually consuming ads?
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's a question. That's a very pertinent question that people aren't necessarily prepared to answer, because more times than not, Brian and I have discussed this in our meetings and stuff like that. Listen, people don't want to watch your ad, and they don't care what it's about. So if it looks like an ad, they're going to scroll past it. And so you can design the best looking ad, the most beautiful looking ad in an AI, but if they're not watching ads, you're screwed.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you guys a little gold today. This is a little secret tool that not a lot of people use, or not a lot of people talk about. It's the Facebook ad library. By law, Facebook has to show and have public all things that are ads, right? I don't know what the laws are behind it, but I just know they do it. This is, I just searched United States, all different types of ads, and I typed in HVAC, right? And it's sorted right now. It's sorted by highest impressions. So this is a good tool for you to use to find ads that are working or that are getting high impressions. That's the thing here. It doesn't mean these are great ads. It means they're getting high impressions.
Yeah.
Which means they're paying for it or whatever. Typically, higher impressions are ads people dump money into that are working. But things like this can show you some of the different videos and whatnot that they got running. This is just a good tool that the reason I bring this up is because you can use AI to use this to find ads that you think would work for you as well. And then you can use AI to, create ads like this. And then my other point was, I just told you that. How many people can actually go do it? How many people know what Higgsfield is and how to function,
Right.
how to export the video, and how to upload it into the ad meta? You want confusion? Deal with meta ads.
Oh my God.
Right? And then, so that's my 3 points. You can come here, you can find the best ads in the world. You can go get them made with AI, but then what the hell are you going to do with it? You're going to edit the video, you're going to do this, you're going to get it up. That's kind of how do I just close this?
Yeah, you just
stop screen. Okay.
Yep.
So I was kind of walking you down a path there of like, yeah, you can do it yourself, and this is the gold. This is some of the tools Brian and I use, but you're still going to need somebody with experience to either walk you through meta ads or do it for you, right?
Yeah.
So,
and here's a weird tangent that my mind attached to. I am a nerd, and so I watch I'm kind of one of my nerdy interests is like pro wrestling, right? So I've been fascinated with this since I was a little kid. And there's this wrestler out there. His name is MJF. Okay, He has a huge following online, and a lot of the stuff about wrestlers is their entrance and how they come in and the music they play and stuff like that. That's what gets fans invested. His theme song is one of the most popular ones on the promotion he's on. You know where his song came from? The royalty-free YouTube music library.
That's awesome.
He's using that as his song. That is a marketing brain right there. That's a marketing brain right there. He didn't have to pay for it. It's royalty free. He can take it wherever he goes and use it and never have to pay a royalty. It never becomes an issue with a promoter where they say, well, we have to pay a royalty to use this. We have to pay, to license this or whatnot. And that is genius level marketing in a marketing brand. I don't know if that has anything to do with what we're talking about, but it's using knowing to use the tools that are
100%.
available for free. And that Facebook ad library, I've used it a lot of times to kind of test out where my ads are and how they stack up against some of our competitors. That's a real thing. And I think you have to have marketing experience to understand how that game works and maximize
100%.
it. And just being the AI agency, that's not going to work. Like I said, it's not necessarily a grift. I'm not calling it a grift 100%, but if somebody's entire framework and understanding of the entire art of marketing is just using AI and YouTube videos, they're going to waste your money.
Here's how I'll take it a step further, I guess, and throw some more shade at it because it is kind of a grift. And here's how I know, because you can see the trend that now there's a starting trend, and I can see it ticking up and up and up. Why AI automation agencies aren't going to work in 2026?
Yeah.
When you just spent a whole year telling me why they are going to work.
Yeah.
That should be telling enough. Oh, it just flipped on December.
Just magically.
Yeah.
And all it is they're going against the algorithm. It's an old thing. I've seen it right now. You see it deployed a lot on LinkedIn, where you are providing the opposition, the opposing stance, the counter stance to draw eyeballs to it. So you have a hot take that goes against what people consider to be common knowledge.
Yeah.
The game
the contrarian,
the contrarian stuff. And that's why you could see that it's a trend, right? Yeah. When the AI agency actually rolls, you're not going to know it's an AI agency. You have no concept. It'll be so seamless. The way that it's integrated, it's going to be so seamless. You're not going to be able to tell the difference. And if somebody's leading with, I have an entire AI agency, they're about to steal your money. They're about to take your money and not give you anything, because when that actually does deploy, the game is going to be, do they really have a team full of people, or are they just using really sophisticated AIs to do this stuff?
So here's a perfect segue into our next point, which is why that hustle. And when we say the word hustle, we mean it because it's a nicer word than scam, because these people aren't meaning to like
rip you off.
That's not the intent, I don't think.
Right.
So a hustle, because and the hustle model relies on confusion, and this AI agency thing is perfect for that, because vague promises, impressive AI dashboards, I'm doing all this stuff, activity as proof, and then that's what they rely on. They rely on the vagueness, and I'm doing a bunch of stuff. Look at me building this AI thing for you. It's super intensive. That means it costs a lot of money. At the end of the day, does it make you money, or are you just spending money on AI because someone told you that it's the latest trend and you need to jump on it?
Right.
Oh,
you run a nursing home, and you manage a nursing home, right? And it's geared towards older folks, right? And somebody comes in and says, hey, you need to be really active on Instagram.
Yeah.
You need to up your level, your content game on Instagram.
Don't get me started about Instagram and how people think that's what they need.
Yeah,
Brian knows who I'm talking about.
yeah,
Um, but people
it's
don't know what they don't know, I guess.
right.
I don't. So you could kind of tell from our demeanor that we're contrarian, but that's real.
Hmm.
It's not fake contrarian like LinkedIn stuff.
Yeah,
I've been this way my whole life where like I don't like to follow trends um just to follow them. I understand trends work and you should obviously take a look at them and how they can be beneficial for you.
hmm,
But I'm not a trend jumper,
yeah.
you know.
Trends are tactics, not strategies.
Mhm.
Trends are something I deploy to achieve a certain end. And if it doesn't work, then I can move to something else. It's not a strategy in and of itself. And some people's entire strategy is based on whatever's trendy right now. And unfortunately, a lot of the stuff that's trendy doesn't take root, and it just kind of drifts, it just kind of free floating drifts down the river and never really takes root anywhere, and then it's out of the public view and it goes away for a while. The entire, I remember, as much as I love Gary, I love Gary V. um
Mhm.
he was hard, he was really going hard in the paint for those NFTs. Like, he was
Yeah.
really going hard for those.
Yeah.
And I was in the space and I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so, and when that went away, you don't hear him really talking about it as much. He still has his stuff, but he's not pushing it as hard because that
Right.
was a trend. That was something that was trendy for a moment until somebody kind of figured out the holes in it. And I think that's kind of what happens um, in the game. And so, and the reason why we're talking about it is because marketing stuff is good content on YouTube. It's interesting content. There are really interesting people in the marketing space. But then there are also people that see what the interesting people are doing and just copy what they're saying with none of the results to prove it, with none of the results to validate
Right.
who they are in the space. Some of these people that say they have these marketing agencies on YouTube, I'll be honest with you, some of these people who say they have these tremendous success with the marketing agencies, the most successful endeavor that they've ever started was their YouTube channel.
Yeah.
That's their entire business. Like, that's what they do, is sell you in on YouTube stuff. And that's okay.
It
But
is.
to present it like I was this marketing guru who launched a YouTube channel and I had success as a marketing guru and now I have success in YouTube is disingenuous. You had success with some marketing stuff and you started a YouTube channel, and your YouTube channel is your primary income.
Yeah.
That is fine. But to sell your ideas as solutions where you don't really have any
You're
provable
not doing them.
successes, right? You're not doing the stuff.
They're theories at that point, right?
Right.
And I think on that same note, I think there's the way that it's worked for some people is this is going back to like what we've told a couple people in the HVAC and like the cleaning the jewelry and stuff like that. And why that works is because look at like I don't know, there's a bunch, but let's just say the top 3 lawn mowing channels on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Those people had a lawn care service until their YouTube took off.
Right.
Now they go around doing lawns for free for content because they make a shit ton of money on YouTube, AdSense, and anything else, and they're getting their equipment free now, getting, Still and anybody else, those
Yeah.
companies are sending them gear, right? So it can work, but they're honest about it. They're like, I don't do a lawn service anymore because I'm here with you guys and you guys enjoy this content and I'm creating content for you.
Yeah.
That's the dream. But until then, like Brian said, if this person is pitching you marketing stuff and they don't actually own an agency, what I mean, I don't. That's like talking to someone like, let's go back to someone operating on you that's not a surgeon.
Right.
Like, nope, no
You're
thanks.
is Dr. Nick from The Simpsons. You're getting operated on Dr.
Yeah.
Nick. I liken it to this. Like, and I think the other side is if they are in that space and they've leveraged their position in the lawn care niche and started a successful YouTube channel, then teach people how to launch their own successful YouTube channels in their business niche, because that is what you're an expert in. And you can make an agency out of that.
Yeah.
as opposed to basic business, doing business stuff. I would respect that more if you taught people how you did what you did to get to where you are. And I feel like there's not enough YouTubers that are actually doing that.
Mm-hmm.
They're acting like they are these business gurus who've had all this success externally to YouTube, and they're just bringing their knowledge over to YouTube. And there are people that are like that.
Yes,
To
there
be
are.
honest with you, there
Yeah.
are experts on there that are legitimate. You could look at what their track record is. There's one marketer I'm thinking in specifically where I've seen him before YouTube. I've seen him on like Shark Tank and all the other stuff where there's a layer of credibility to that. I'm not saying Shark Tank is the arbiter of who is credible, because they've had their level of scandals too.
One
But
real good example of this, Brian, is I don't know if you're familiar with his name's Nick Bear. He
Mhm.
owns Bear Nutrition, I think is the name of it.
I
Does
haven't heard of.
kind of vlog style stuff, but like he talks business and stuff and everything going on in his company. He has a massive YouTube channel, but this dude is like, you go back and you could see all like he's got huge warehouses and stuff he's building now, and that's part of this content. And he's doing the damn thing while doing YouTube. So it's
Yeah.
exactly what you're talking about. Like he even talks about how like he started with just doing websites and stuff, but now he's like this hybrid athlete and all this stuff, and a lot of there's a lot of workout stuff and whatever, but like it's a perfect example of someone going to YouTube and telling people about, success and stuff, but actually like you're watching the dude live it every video.
Right.
That's
I
good stuff.
and I think that, to me, that is somebody that is more impressive than I have 10 million followers on YouTube and this is all I have ever done. I've seen it specifically in the course creation niche, which
Mhm.
is, it's disappointing. I'll be honest with you. It's disappointing. Because what happens is they are super rich because they sell courses, right? Like that's what they present. They say, I sell courses is where my success is. And really it's their money comes from YouTube. Like it's not they're super successful selling courses.
Right.
And I have a problem with that. Tell people most of my stuff comes from making content about selling courses. I've had moderate success selling courses, and that's what I've had. I'm trying to show you how you can have a level of success where you can pay your bills selling digital courses, but I'm not going to sit here and act like my YouTube channel had nothing to do with me selling digital courses. Like,
Right.
it's just it's a very slippery slope that we're running into, where there is no standard of expertise. And I think that's what the problem is. And
Yeah.
like I said, a desperate business owner is going to absolutely go for whoever looks like they have the magic solution in a box.
Yeah. And they kind of shy away from the people that are like, hey, this is hard.
Mhm.
Real talk, it's hard,
It sucks.
Yeah. It
People
sucks
don't
sometimes.
A lot of times I think people is and I hate to say it, but it feels like there's a layer of where people don't want that honesty, like this is hard and it sucks and it's not fun, but here is the real information and it's going to take at least 3 months for you to turn this thing around.
And here's the potential, like the upsides are so good, so
Mhm.
great. And the things you can do for yourself, your family, your community, whatever, if you're successful, are far outweigh the struggle, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it too. And I think I don't know. There's so many layers. Let's go ahead. Let me see where we're at. We got a couple minutes here. Let's go ahead.
See if there's anything else we can kind of hit before we have to go here.
The shift. Okay, so I like this shift in what an agency actually is. Um, for me, if you purchase my services as an agency, you're getting me as a strategist, and I lead with my strategy, and that's the thing
Mhm.
That's the thing I'm leaning hard into. I'd rather teach you how to do the thing and teach you how to make it into a system where you're constantly doing the thing, as opposed to doing the thing myself.
Right.
I'd rather get that 1 or 2 time payment to come in and lay down a strategy for you so that you can do this stuff and get these results in house. And to me, that's where I'm naturally drifting towards, because a lot of the done for you work, it's not sustainable. And the reason why is, I'm writing copy for your business, but I don't work in your business on a day-to-day basis. I'm not the business owner. So the stuff that I'm writing is in my voice, not your voice.
Right.
And I'm saying this as a copywriter who's been paid to write stuff for people.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather teach you how to write evocative copy than do it for you all the time. And that's
Yes.
kind of where my agency is drifting towards.
Same. I rather, the whole teach a man to fish thing rather than just fish for him and give him fish.
Right.
100%. My goal is to leave you and have you be successful, right?
Right.
And if I do that enough times, I can make a living from it.
That's exactly what it is. I can provide you that value that's durable, that's replicable, that you can do on your own.
I would
And you don't need me.
I would absolutely love to be a content creator solely,
Mm-hmm.
but you gotta pay bills,
Right.
and that's just the way it is. So, and I'll kind of leave you. I don't know. We'll see where we're at, but I'll kind of leave you with this right here. But I think Brian can attest to this. Right now, my goal for this year is to start creating content, not as a content creator, but like to create content for the people I want to buy my products.
Mm-hmm.
But I want that to be part of my life, right? Like I want it to be easy. I want it to be, when I say easy, I mean habitually easy. I don't have any mental blocks I'm putting in place to do the content. It becomes part of who I am as a business owner to create content on the regular and distribute it, because I know that that's what's effective for my business, right?
Right.
And I want it to become, like I said, habitual and not something that's a stressor, not something I'm like, oh God, I got to create content because, Brian said that's what we got to do in 2026. No, I want you to be able to create content with a purpose, and then it be part of your business. You want to know what the trend is? It's creating content, and founder-led, owner-led content is what the trend is, and it's what's going to do leaps and bounds what anything else can do for your business.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of can leave you with that.
I think that's a good point to leave off on. If you don't have some kind of information marketing, content marketing arm within your business, in 2026, it's time to develop one, to show people how the sausage is made sometimes, to show them the mundane things that you think are so boring that they're going to find fascinating, to get more people engaging with your stuff, where you give them information that helps them improve their life and reach an outcome that they wouldn't normally reach without you first. So when they really do need you, they come to you and are willing to sit down and listen to you. So that is the direction. I think that's a perfect way to end off. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
I'll say one more thing. Sorry. I can promise you, and I can give you one guarantee in marketing. One guarantee. If you do nothing, nothing will happen.
Exactly.
Take that to the bank. I can guarantee you. If you do nothing, you will get nothing.
Yeah. And that's the truest thing about this. Like you gotta play the game to a degree. You have to figure out what marketing system works for you. That's what the expert will help you do. Figure out what works for you, not what works for the guy down the street, not what works for, the upstart agency or upstart person on YouTube. What works for you and what brings you the clients that pay you the money to do the thing that you do. That's it. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, appreciate everybody.
We'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Peace.